And how is it going, everybody? It is Skullzi here with the latest and the greatest next-gen gaming news. The bit of news that we're going to be talking about today is a rumor along with an inside tip from a game developer that I received, which can all give us an idea as to when the next generation of gaming consoles will finally be released. Now, as I said in my video yesterday, I'm going to start covering next-gen gaming news, and I am super hyped to do so because I believe that this generation of gaming technology will be amazing for so many reasons, and I'm going to cover all of these reasons and the latest news in future videos. But like I said, the news we're talking about today is a rumor and a game developer tip that will give us an idea as to when these consoles will finally be released. I'm talking about the PS5 and the Xbox, whatever it is, people. So let's get to that rumor. This rumor has actually been circulating from mid to late 2017. And that rumor is that game developers all over are saying that the last wave of dev kits for the PS5 and the Xbox whatever have been released late 2017, and this is huge news. Now, for those who do not know what a dev kit is essentially the bare bones of a gaming console, and sometimes the complete gaming console itself, depending on how late the dev kit actually is. Dev kits are kind of like patches, game patches released periodically as new code and upgrades and ideas are added into the game console. Dev kits are super important for the gaming industry because it allows Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo to give game developers an idea and actual hardware and software, UI, and etc. in order to get a head start on developing games. If dev kits like this didn't exist, and if they didn't give them to game developers early, there would be no games launching with new consoles. They would just be boring boxes sitting on a shelf. As dev kits progress, we get closer and closer to the final version of the PS5 and the Xbox whatever, and like I said, the final version of the dev kits have just released, which means that it's essentially a finished PS5 and Xbox whatever. That means that the game developers finally have the final version of next-gen consoles in their hands. Now, along with being super important for the gaming industry, dev kits are also super secretive for many reasons. First of all is if Sony found out what the specs and etc. of Microsoft's Xbox was before it released, that would allow them to alter their design and try to get ahead of Microsoft and so on and so forth. Also, they try to keep it a secret because people like me will try to use the dev kits and their timing to figure out when these consoles are going to release. So like I said, the final wave of dev kits released in late 2017, which means that Sony, Microsoft, and maybe Nintendo, I'm not sure. All I know is that Microsoft and Sony have definitely released their final dev kits. But anyway, that means that they likely won't make any more major changes to the next generation consoles. They may change how it looks a little bit, but I doubt even that. Game developers all over probably have the final version of the Xbox whatever and the PS5 in their hands right now, which means that these consoles are going to launch very soon. My guess is within the next year or two. I would say realistically in the next year, especially if Microsoft and Sony not only have the final dev kits completed, but also the actual look and design and appearance completed as well. That way, all they need to do right now is start manufacturing consoles for a major release. And like I said, I think that this generation of gaming is going to be huge, so they're going to need to make a bunch of these things. Now, I did mention that I did get an inside tip from a game developer, and this isn't big news, it's just a little bit of icing on the sweet roll that makes this a little bit more awesome. But I have a few inside leakers to me that feed me information and give me leads and stuff. They obviously want to remain anonymous. A lot of these people, actually all of them, are from major companies, so I can't give you exact quotes here, but they did tell me that they did receive the last wave of dev kits. They told me in May of this year, actually, but that doesn't mean that they didn't receive them in late of 2017. That means that they just happened to decide to tell me in May of 2018. But either way, with all of this information combined, the TLDR is that game developers have in their hands now the final version of the PS5 and the Xbox whatever. That means that Sony and Microsoft only need to mass produce the consoles now and prepare for sale, which means that we are most likely going to see the launch of the PS5 and the Xbox whatever in 2019 or at the latest 2020. Now, with all of this information, I am super hyped for the next generation of gaming. I have more information to share with you all, as well as I will cover the latest news when it comes to any of this, so be sure to subscribe if you want to stay in the know when it comes to next-gen gaming news and information, everything from games to graphics to launch dates to specs, all of that stuff. Also, follow me on Twitter for the latest gaming news, memes, and random shit about me, and check out my Twitch channel where I recently reached Twitch affiliate, so I'm trying to build a daily streaming schedule that works for me. I am super excited to get something started there again as well. And if you want to have your hand in building future content and defending the channel from bullshit video takedowns, then consider consider subscribing to the community on Patreon, where you can earn unique awards and stuff like that. The links for all of these awesome things are down in the description below, and as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when the Xbox whatever is confirmed to literally be called the Xbox whatever. I would shit myself to death if that was true.
What I feel about myself, I feel there's the unknown, there's things I don't know, and that's what I'm striving for. To say that I know would not be true, because there are things I don't know, and I'm trying to find out what they are, and they come little by little.
Bye, have a great time.